Hey y'all, this is Lauren Akins and welcome to season 3 of the Live in Love podcast. I am so happy to be back. In this season of the podcast, we are sharing conversations all about parenting. I'm a mom of 4 girls and parenting is the big focus in my world currently, so I'm taking time to sit down with fellow parents, parenting experts, and my village of family and friends that help me raise my girls to talk about what it looks like to live in love while parenting.
And I'm Annie F. Downs, and I'm really excited to be here for a 3rd season of the Live in Love podcast with Lauren. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that today. And you can go back and listen to season 1 and season 2 because we don't want you missing a single episode of the show. And happy Mother's Day to Lauren. This is our first episode around Mother's Day. And if you haven't read Lauren's New York Times bestselling book, Live in Love, it is time you got on that. It is a great Mother's Day gift for the mothers in your life. So pick up a copy at your favorite local bookstore or wherever you love to buy books.
So today, for our first episode of season 3 of the Live in Love podcast, I get to sit down with my co-host, Annie F. Downs, to celebrate Mother's Day and talk about what it looks like for me as a mom and how to live in love on Mother's Day.
Yes, I can't wait. But first, Lauren, a little surprise. To start off our Mother's Day episode, let's actually hear from your daughters. Ada James, what's your mom's name?
Lauren.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about Lauren Akins?
That she takes care of us.
What does that look like when she takes care of you? What do you mean? What kind of things does she do?
She keeps us safe and that she keeps us in a special house.
Yeah. Well, Gray, what's your favorite thing about your mom?
That she is nice.
She is nice. How do you know she's nice? What kind of things does she do that you think, man, that is so nice?
She lets us eat candy sometimes.
Yeah, girl. I agree with that. What's your favorite kind of candy? We haven't even talked about that.
Skittles.
Yes, ma'am. Taste the rainbow. Lennon, what's your favorite thing about your mama?
Play.
You love to play with her? What do you do when y'all play together?
Color and watch a movie.
Oh, does she watch Encanto with you? Does she sing with you? Both of you sing? Yeah. Willa Gray, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing your mama does when y'all wake up?
Pack our lunches for school.
Oh, what kind of stuff you get in your lunch?
A turkey sandwich.
Nice.
Sometimes sweet peppers.
Oh, okay. Those little ones? Mm-hmm. What color is your favorite of those?
Orange.
My girl, same. It's got to be the orange. They're better. The red's too much for me.
I like the orange.
You like the orange too? Yes, Ada James. I'm glad to hear it. When your mom's cooking dinner, what's your favorite thing she cooks?
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers, yes. Are we eating French fries on the side or are we eating chips? What are we having?
French chips.
Oh, Lennon's feeling those chips. Yes, girl. Do you have a favorite thing that your mom cooks?
Spaghetti.
Oh, yes, spaghetti. Garlic bread too? Or just, yes, I know.
I love garlic bread.
You too. Yes, Ada James, I'm so glad. Okay, so today, when everyone's hearing this podcast, it's Mother's Day. So, Willa Gray, what's one thing you would want to say to your mom on Mother's Day?
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love that. What would you say to your mom on Mother's Day?
Mommy, I love you.
Yeah.
Hey friends, I am so excited to be back for another season of the Live in Love podcast, and it wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors like Earth Breeze. So before we jump in, I know that y'all understand me and you have to know what it feels like just battling the never-ending laundry laying around the house needing to be washed, and you go through a lot of laundry detergent. Also, why do most laundry detergents come in those massive plastic jugs that feel like you're getting an arm workout every time you use them? I also recently just learned that 91% of those inconvenient, awkward, heavy jugs end up in landfills and oceans, harming our planet and marine life. There has to be a better way, right? I mean, it's not like you can just stop doing laundry in your house, but there is another way, which is why I am so excited to tell y'all about Earth Breeze. So Earth Breeze laundry detergent eco sheets look like dryer sheets, but they're not. It is truly revolutionary. Liquidless laundry detergent that dissolves 100% in any wash cycle, hot or cold. No measuring, no mess, no heavy plastic jugs. Just toss the sheet right in, and it makes it so much easier for me with the baby on my hip to throw the laundry in and trust that it's getting clean and coming out smelling so fresh. Earth Breeze has really made the whole concept of detergent better. The packaging is lightweight, biodegradable, and plastic-free. It's great for all laundry lifestyles, even sensitive skin. Their eco sheets are hypoallergenic and dermatologist tested. They're also compatible with the HE, high efficiency, washers, gray water systems, and is septic safe. It's delivered right to your door via free carbon neutral shipping at a frequency you can set that works for your unique lifestyle. Most importantly, you still get a powerful clean. Earth Breeze is tough on stains, fights odors, and your clothes come out smelling clean every time. Don't just take my word for it, though. You can try for yourself with their risk-free 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it, Earth Breeze will give you a full refund, no questions asked, and no return necessary. Switch from the old-fashioned goo to something new. Right now, my listeners can subscribe to Earth Breeze and save 40%. Go to earthbreeze.com/liveinlove to get started. That's earthbreeze.com/liveinlove for 40% off. earthbreeze.com/liveinlove.
Lauren, season 3.
I'm so happy.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
This is so good. I'm so glad we're doing this again.
Me too.
Thank you for letting me be on it. I love being on these with you.
I have so much fun doing this with you.
I do too. I really love it. Why? I mean, we haven't really ever done a season like this before where we pick a subject or a topic and like focus the whole season on it. But when we were dreaming this up, you were like, we got to talk about parenting.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I feel like we're just, well, you asked me, you're like, well, what's on your heart lately? Like, what are you experiencing in life? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like all that I am doing for the most part is parenting.
Yeah.
That is like the stage of life I'm in. Like there are ages where they need me a lot.
Yeah.
And they're not all in school. So, 2 are home most of the week. Lennon goes a couple of days, but for the most part, she's home with me. And Lily is, little bitty. So, yeah, I feel like I am just living in my kids' world right now.
What was it like going from 3 to 4?
Oh, man. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was really hard. We were not planning to get pregnant with Lily.
Yes. We walked it with you season 1 and season 2.
Just a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
So I think I already was feeling not necessarily overwhelmed as a mom, but well, yeah. Maybe there are moments of feeling overwhelmed, but I also felt like we were really getting to a good place. We were like, okay, we're really, we're all doing this together. We're all like running in the marathon at this point.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant with Lily, and it felt like you just every newborn, you kind of start back over at baby stage. And so that was kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around, that I'm about to go back through that. And then once she was born, I tell people all the time, I feel like that's really when I started parenting open-handed.
Oh, really?
Because there's just too many to try to control.
Wow. So when it was 3, it felt like I could control each of their lives. And then Lily came along and you're like, God has to do this.
I'm done control. I can't. I just had to just give it up. And that was the greatest gift God could have given me, is to teach me how to truly you just got to give it up.
Yeah. What does that look like?
It's different every day, on very small scales, on really big scales. Just with the numbers, the number 4, right. When Thomas Rhett's not home, there's always a need between the 4 of them, and usually it's multiple at a time or needing something. And I felt like I used to if 2 of them needed something and 1 was good, that was most of the time what was going on. I could pretty well juggle the 2 needs and then hop over to the 3rd when that need. But when you've got 4 and 3 are needing something, and sometimes all 4 are needing something, do the best you can, because you really realize, like, I think a lot of times moms, or at least I was this way, would think, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And you kind of like pep talk yourself like, yes, I can do this, and have this illusion that you are doing it all.
Yeah.
And then you realize with 4, I actually cannot do it all. So how do I do what I can do and do it well and keep the ship afloat?
Yes, right.
So it's, you know, it's getting juice for this one, or putting that one down for a nap, or helping these 2 work through whatever issues they've got. And depending on the age, I try not to always put my older ones on hold, but they're the easiest ones to be like, hold on a second, let mommy finish this
Lily
with her.
doesn't quite understand that as well.
Right. But also trying to teach the younger ones that they have to wait their turn.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always saying, girls, there are 4 of you and 1 mommy. I need just a moment. Because if they kind of get frustrated, like, mommy, like Ada James, mommy, I asked you, can you please put my hair in a low pony? Oh. And I'm like, Ada James, first of all, be kind to your mother.
Yes.
Second of all, I promise I will do that. Sometimes I just need help to be reminded of the things that you need.
Why does she want a low pony?
I mean, well, so now it's changed. It's changed to a middle pony. Everything is middle pony. She's so particular about her hair, which is just hilarious. But then, you know, the big things too, like, you know, we're going to talk a lot more about this season, but I'm really in a stage of life where Willa Gray especially, and now Ada James, are asking real questions.
Yeah.
And not that the other questions weren't real, but they're like hard questions that are hard to answer, and the answers sometimes don't feel good. And like those things, like I feel like the Lord was really preparing my heart in that way of just like, there are going to be some things that you're not going to be able to answer, and you're going to have to trust me with it, and trust me with your kids. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm really walking through right now, is trusting the Lord with my kids. And I have to remind myself too that they were his before they were mine. And I have to trust that he loves them more than I can. Yeah. And that's hard.
Is it a worry about their safety?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I think...
Is that just always in the back of your mind when you're here, when you're everywhere, of like, there are 4 people that I'm just curious if everything's fine?
I've always kind of had a little, like a healthy fear. But you know, I do think lately, just in our community, after the Covenant shooting, I think a lot of parents are struggling with fear that wasn't normally there. And it's just really, I've had a really hard time shaking it lately. Yeah. And I have to just keep taking it off of me and giving it to the Lord, like almost daily, because it feels paralyzing a lot of the time. But I also know that fear is not from the Lord. And I know the enemy is for sure being opportunistic in all of this and trying to generate that fear. But I mean, I have to say those things out loud to myself.
Right.
And because even though you know truth, sometimes you have to remind yourself of the truth.
Do dads worry like moms worry? Like, is Thomas Rhett thinking of this while he's not with the girls?
He in a different way.
Yeah.
I think he more so like wants to spring into action and like have the hard conversations and what are we going to do about it and how can we be better, and kind of wants to, and maybe that's not necessarily a mom versus a dad thing. That might just be a personality thing too. But I do think I'm definitely more of like, look immediately around me and like, how can I manage what is right in front of me instead of necessarily like, I think Thomas Rhett kind of is looking at that bigger picture and I'm looking at the 4 that I've got under me right now. And I'm like, okay, how do I take care of this? And then we jump to that 30,000 foot view.
Right.
But so, yeah, I think we're different in that way.
What do you know about God now that you didn't know before you were a mom?
How much grace he has for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And patience. And just how much he loves me. You know, you always hear like, Jesus loves you, the Lord loves you, he created you, he's obsessed with you. And I always knew it. and felt it, but I know it like on a deeper level now of just like little ones that you just would do anything for. And you probably know this with the kids in your life that you would do anything for. Once you experience that, I mean, these are really the first kids that I've had because my girlfriends didn't have a lot of kids before I had kids. Our siblings didn't have kids. And so this is really the first time that I have been really close with little ones.
Yeah.
And that's it. I would do anything for them.
Yeah.
And in my humanness, I can feel that. So like to put it like on a God scale is something that we can't even fathom.
Right.
But then it just brings me so much comfort of like, of course I want good for Willa Gray, Ada James, Lennon, Lily. Of course I want to give them good things. Of course I want to teach them things, even though it feels hard in the moment. I want them to learn this because it's good for them. And trying to imagine that on how he looks at me, how he looks at them. It's really humbling, but it's also so comforting, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just give you this like, I'm a human raising humans versus I'm a perfect person raising humans.
Right. Yeah.
And knowing that God is perfect, how good his love is and how kind he is to us. And then going like, well, I'm doing my best, but I'm not going to do this perfectly. I mean, that's why you have to open your hands, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, you have to continue to remind you, because I'll find myself for sure starting to like try to white knuckle things and be like, no, we're going to make this, I can make this work. I can do this. And then you can't. And when you don't, and when you fail at whatever it is, having the grace for that, knowing that he's got the grace for that. And then teaching your kids how to have grace. I mean, that's one thing that we're doing right now in our house. It's like, you have to like have grace for your sister. Yes, she did whatever it was, but there's grace for that. She said she was sorry. Yeah. We're going to forgive her. We're going to move on. We're going to try again. But I mean, learning that as an adult, I feel like you never fully learn it. You're always having to.
Right. I am. I'm still parenting myself through that and learning that. That's true. People ask TR all the time about having all girls, but people ask you all the time about having all girls. So will you just talk about so far, if your family stopped growing today, you are a mom of all daughters. I can feel intimidated by that for myself because of how hard I thought it was growing up in some ways that are specifically true to being female.
Yeah.
Most generally. And so what do you think about having 4 daughters?
Honestly, I'm so grateful that I have my 4 girls. I said my whole life growing up, I hope that I am a boy mom. I'm going to be a boy mom. I want to be a boy mom. And usually, as you do those things in life, God's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure you do.
He didn't trade in a boy for a girl, but he knew what you did not know.
Right. Yeah. And so I think I fought it for a little bit. Like, I'll get a boy somehow, someday, through adoption or whatever. I can make a boy happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like he very gently one day, I was really praying about it and just like, I wanted boys. Like,
is this after all 4 girls?
Yeah. After I found out Lily was a girl.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But you know the desires of my heart. Trying to like have that argument with him and just like, well, I can make it happen. I can make it happen. And he one day I was praying about it and I just felt him say, well, are you going to make it happen or are you going to have the conversation with me and see what it is I'm giving you? Like,
oh, wow.
Are you going to continue to try to control this narrative or are you going to let me be God? And I was just like,
good to see you too.
Yeah, right. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what I'm doing? I don't. And it was also just a correction in my spirit of like, hey, you're not letting me be God. You're not letting me show you what is best for your life. And as my girls get older, I realize the importance in raising strong women and women who are sure of themselves and know themselves and know how to be compassionate and kind and humble, but then also be bold and courageous and say the hard things. And that is not an easy job, raising 4 little girls, but I actually really love it, and it just feeds my soul. And now I look back and I see why I wanted to be a boy mom, because I was such a tomboy, and I was, quite honestly, still am intimidated by all things beauty. And so I'm like, I can't have girls. I don't even know what that life is like.
Ada James is like low pony, middle pony, 2 ponies. Yeah.
Right. And Willa Gray like loves to design clothes, and she like makes all kinds of crazy outfits for her Barbies and for her dolls, and even for herself. She'll dress up her and the younger 3.
Oh my gosh.
They'll come out in outfits, and I'm like, where did you find that? And she just making up things. Like, she's so they are very girly.
Yeah.
But it's not intimidating because they're mine.
Yeah.
And I know them, and the parts of them that aren't like me, however God created them to be, they just own it. And I don't have to be girly to parent girly girls.
Yeah, that's right.
But
just
then
like
also,
your mom didn't have to be a tomboy to parent you.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And so I think it was a more out of fear of like, I wouldn't know what to do with girls.
Wow.
Which, I mean, I am a girl, but I do feel like they are exactly who I needed as a mom, and I am exactly who they needed. And so it's been really, really sweet watching them grow. And I'm so excited for it to keep going and to see where it goes. And also, I do hear people who are parents of girls that are older. They're like, I will say, you will be well taken care of when you are older, having 4 daughters.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly right. You're going to move from house to house. Yeah,
right.
That's exactly right.
So,
yeah.
Can you believe that we are already in our 3rd season of the Live in Love podcast? I'm so overwhelmed by your support, as well as our partners, and we're so glad that Modern Fertility is partnering with us once again. So did you know that 1 out of 8 couples struggle with infertility? Seriously, that is a staggering statistic that most people don't know or aren't ready to talk about. But we need good data and information about our bodies in order to have informed conversations with our doctors and make the best decisions for ourselves and our futures. That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's an easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. Mail it in with a prepaid label, and you'll get your personalized results within 6 business days. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, like your ovarian reserve, aka if you have more or fewer eggs than average for your age, and other important factors that can impact your fertility. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also download the results to review with your doctor for next steps. Traditional hormone testing at a fertility clinic can cost over $600, but Modern Fertility tests the same general set of hormones for only $179. And I'm happy to share that if you go to modernfertility.com/liveinlove, you can get $20 off your first test. Plus, you can get reimbursed for the test through your FSA HSA. If you want kids today, or maybe one day in the future, clinically sound info about your body can help you make the decision that's right for you. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/liveinlove. That means your test will cost $159, which is a fraction of what it would cost at a fertility clinic. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/liveinlove. modernfertility.com/liveinlove. So another thing that has really been on my heart this season is the mission of our partners, Crew, and how they are making the Bible accessible to as many families as they can. Take a second and think about if you didn't have access to a Bible, or even allowed to have one. This is a reality that many people around the world are facing today. And Crew has missionaries in almost every country on earth, and they are seeing people come to know Jesus. But there's just one thing they're missing: a Bible in their own language. We had so many of our listeners over the past 2 seasons of the podcast become Crew donors, and that just makes my heart so happy to know that we are filling the need. But as a missionary once said, we found so many people reading their Bibles. Please continue praying for us. We still need more Bibles to distribute. So, can I ask you to join me in helping meet that need? For only $21 a month, you can provide 3 people with Bibles each and every month. When you sign up to provide 3 Bibles with a monthly gift of $21, as a thank you, Cru will provide meals to 15 hungry individuals through their humanitarian aid ministry. Plus, you'll receive a free copy of my book, Live in Love. Simply text Akins to 71326 to help today. Imagine just how much this gift could change someone's life. So text Akins to 71326. That's AKINS to 71326 to help now. Or you can visit give.cru.org/Akins. Message and data rates may apply. Available to U.S. addresses only.
It is amazing to watch both of you and TR with the 4 girls, and just seeing how y'all both parent, and how the places that it's similar where y'all have teamed up, and the places where you're going to parent a little bit different because you come from 2 different stories as well. How are you meshing that? How are you, I mean, we've met in the first 2 seasons, we've met both of your families, and a lot of them at least. And so y'all come from 2 different kinds of families that grew up near each other. So it's similar, but how do you put together, what happens in those moments where another parent, either TR or your mom or Mackie or somebody, parents in a different way than you? Yeah. And you have to, which is right? Me, them?
Right.
Does it matter?
Right.
Like, when do you get in the fight over it?
Well, I feel like thankfully we worked out a lot of that before kids.
Oh, wow.
And we talked about it before kids. Like, here are things that I for sure want to do with our kids. These are things I loved about how we were parented. And so I think we cling to those things that we pull from our parents that were done really well.
Yeah.
And maybe things that we look back and go, yeah, I can see how that brought me here. I don't want to do that with my kids. And we have the most incredible parents, like, of all time. And so I feel like it's a little bit easier for us just because there really aren't that many differences, you know, thankfully. But the times where we are, and even personalities, we are just very different humans. So the times where we are really, you know, kind of clash on things, well, one, we have to be really careful to not, like, just try to hash it out right there in front of our kids, especially if it gets under each other's skin. Yeah. And sometimes it's really good when it happens in front of our kids, because it's good practice for us to, like, be really kind to each other when we don't agree. But it's both. It's both. I mean, I think what I have struggled with in my marriage that I really have had to learn and work on is that I'm not always right.
That is going to be hard when I get married, because currently in my house, I am always right.
Right. And like, one thing that we learned in counseling, one of the times that we were doing some counseling, is that we did an exercise where we had to, we were kind of like on a seesaw, like a big wooden hoverboard is what it looked like. One was on one end, one was on the other, and we were balancing. And we had to figure out how to keep the balance and keep it from touching the ground, and both meet in the middle, and then switch sides and go to the opposite ends without either side. So the balance had to stay perfect every time. And so in the first exercise, they were like, no rules, do it however you want to do it. Just see if you can do it. And we failed over and over and over and over, because he was trying to do it one way, I was trying to do another. I was saying, no, do it this way. No, babe, that's not going to work. And he'd be like, no, yes, it is. No, you do it this way. And and then so we failed. Well, the second time around, he said, okay, Thomas Rhett, you don't speak. Lauren, you're the only one who can talk, and he's got to take orders from you, and y'all got to do it again. We nailed it. And I was like, see, I told you, my way worked. And he goes, okay, last exercise. Lauren, you can't talk. You have to listen to him and let him tell you how to do it. We did it that way. Nailed it again. And I was like, dang it. Yeah. Because it's in that you realize that you both might be communicating differently. You're talking over each other, under each other, around each other. And if you're not respecting each other's words and listening to each other, you are going to fail. But if you can try to see it from someone else's perspective, like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can both get to the end but we just see it a little bit differently and go around it and go about it differently, and respecting just the differences in that way. Like, actually, we can both be right, or actually our heart is in the same place with our daughter about this. We both want to get to this end goal, but we just do it a different way. That's something that him and I both have really tried to work on, is just seeing it from the other's perspective. And then there are some times where, I'll go to him and be like, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
We definitely should have done it that way.
Yeah.
And vice versa. But it's compromising. It's seeing things outside of yourself and kind of like being able to swallow that pride.
And multiplied over and over with every kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like fourth time around, we kind of nod at each other and we know what needs to happen next.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Y'all know how to, no one's talking now.
Right.
Y'all are just crossing the board.
That's right.
Just crossing the board. What's one of your favorite mothering memories of the last year? Did y'all do anything fun or have any of these moments?
We have a playhouse in our backyard, and it's big, and it's got swings on it, but then it's a playhouse. And then a friend of ours actually put turf up under the bottom of it with a pad under the turf, because I just have a feeling there will be some jumping off of things at some point.
Yes. I think
so. I was like, let's pad this as best we can up underneath this place.
Yeah, it's a few trips to the ER because of heads and elbows.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this isn't necessarily just one memory, but I feel like we go out and the little ones will swing while the big ones are doing the slide, and the big ones will get the little ones and help them down the slide. And it's so quiet, and we put our phones down, and just all six of us in the backyard with our two dogs.
Yeah.
And it feels like the world just kind of is shut out, and it's just the six of us and our dogs in the backyard. And that, it was always my favorite memory from childhood, was being outside with friends and with family and just playing and being a kid, and getting to keep being a kid with my kids.
Yeah.
Is just so sweet. Yeah. And with the weather being as nice as it has been lately, I think about that all the time. I'm like, I can't wait to get home. And as soon as I walk through the door, I'm like, who wants to go to the playground? And my girls, they love it, and they don't get tired of it. And it just makes me so happy.
Has motherhood broken your heart this year?
Oh, yeah. Just my girls starting to see the world through a lens that isn't always easy and isn't always fun. A lot of heartbreak. Yeah. A lot of heartbreak this year. For just my personal heart, and then their little hearts, all of it.
Right, because you've got to manage, I'm having emotions about this loss, and now I also am managing these emotions about this loss, especially in the two big girls.
Yes.
Though it does feel like Lennon's transitioning over into a big girl category.
She is. Yeah. She's close.
She's on the line.
She's getting there. Yeah, she is, for sure. And that feels scary, and that feels hard to navigate right now, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. And Thomas Rhett and I both are very honest with our kids about everything. And of course, there's a level of need to know basis a little bit, or like just age appropriate information with all different things. But we're very honest with our kids. They do ask a lot of questions. And even in those hard moments, we're so close as a family. And so even in the heartbreak, there's like strength in that. Because we're together, and we, hold each other's hands and walk through it together, and nobody feels alone. And that's really powerful, and one of my favorite things about family.
Yeah. So all through this season, we've got some friends on, but we've also got some experts on. Because you and I both are kind of big believers in, like, let's bridge people to people who can really help them.
Yeah.
when do mothers need the most help? Like, we have counselors on, we have some expert authors on, we have a bunch of people coming on this season that are going to help us like think about that. When do moms need the most help?
I think it just changes on the kind of help that you need. Like when kids are little bitty, I think you need so much physical.
Yeah, you need hands on the ground.
Yeah.
You just need more people.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to try to do anything for yourself, like go have a lunch date or go work out or go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or go get your nails done.
Right.
Like things that are going to fill your cup, you physically have to have help. And like when you're sleep deprived.
Right.
Like it's such a gift to be like, oh, will you keep them for one night and let me sleep?
Can you have them from dinner to breakfast?
Yeah. And that kind of help feels hard, I think, to delegate or to ask for because it feels like a lot to a mom, to a young mom. But there are people in different seasons that welcome that and they're like, I would love to have a baby in my house, or I would love to watch this toddler for a few hours while you go do whatever for yourself. Or hire help, a babysitter or daycare, if that's what it looks like for some moms. But that help is just like necessary for your sanity. And then I feel like as kids get older, you still need some of that physical help, but more than that, I feel like you need like emotional and like mental of like, hey, I got a lot of questions about this. Am I doing this right? She asked me this and I don't really know how to answer it.
Right.
And then outside of your kids, but just being a mother, I feel like you always need help. Like you always need that place you can vent or say like, this has been a really hard week, or like, oh my gosh, this just happened. I'm so excited and I want someone to be excited with me.
Yes.
I think all of those things are healthy. So I don't feel like there's ever a season where you won't need help. I mean, even if your kids are grown, you're still that role model for your kids in whatever season that is. And so you're always learning as they're learning, and having those mentors and friends to come alongside you, I think is so crucial. Hey friends, we have a brand new sponsor that has joined us for season 3 of the Live and Love podcast, and I am pumped to introduce you to a wellness brand called Liquid IV. Raising 4 girls is such a fun adventure, but to keep up with these energetic sisters, I'm needing to keep my own personal health and wellness a priority. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier is the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. Use it first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, after a long night out, and on long flights. Being on the go, I especially love Liquid IV's convenient packaging that I can pour right into my water bottle wherever I am. One stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. There are 12 delicious, refreshing flavors to keep your hydration routine exciting. They contain 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. Liquid IV is made with premium ingredients and is non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code LIVEINLOVE at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code LIVEINLOVE at liquidiv.com. This episode is also sponsored by Hiya Health, another new and incredible partner supporting what the Live and Love podcast is putting out in the world, and I'm so excited to be working with them this season because of what they are doing in the children's supplement space. So typical children's vitamins are filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar and unhealthy chemicals and other gummy junk growing kids should not be putting in their bodies. That's where Hiya stepped in and changed things up. The pediatrician-approved, super-powered, chewable vitamin. You can trust that Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy junk, yet it still tastes yummy and is perfect for picky eaters, which I have a house full of sometimes. Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern culture's diets to provide the full body nourishment our kids need with a yummy taste they love. It's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free, and everything else you can imagine. It's delivered straight to your door, and in your first shipment, it comes with a bunch of cute stickers, and my girls loved getting to decorate their Hiya bottles. It makes them excited to take their vitamins every day, and that is a real proud mom moment for me. Hiya was incredibly generous and worked out a special deal for the Live and Love listeners to get their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/liveandlove. This deal is not available on their regular website, so go to Hiya Health, hiyahealth.com/liveandlove and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults.
How many decisions, let me rephrase that. How many more decisions are you making per day than you were making 8 years ago? I bet on my day, I make 50 decisions.
No,
I don't know.
really?
I bet I make 50 during a day of like, what am I going to wear? What do I want for lunch? What do we do next? Wow. How many do you think you make in a day? 300?
I bet I make 50 before they're out the door for school.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Just
That is
with
crazy.
hair, with what do they want for snack?
Yeah.
Do you want an Uncrustable, or do you want me to make you a turkey sandwich? Or yesterday you had this, I'm going to put this. You didn't have enough veggies last night. We're going to do this.
Yes.
Or
50
like
before they're out the door.
Yeah, no, those shoes don't work, babe. Where are those shoes? Those shoes are, Lennon, run upstairs and get no, not that, baby. Lily, don't grab that. It's just like a constant, you're constantly pivoting and like, okay, I can put her here. If I do that, I can do this. Willa Gray, can you feed her a bottle while I get Ada James's hair in a middle pony? All of those things are, when Thomas Durrett's home, he takes
you
a
do
lot
25
of that
in the
load.
morning. Yeah.
Yes.
And he does 25.
Yes. But like when I'm gone or when he's gone, I mean, at the end of when we're away from each other and whoever is home with the kids, there is no hard feelings if the other one on vacation or on a work trip or whatever it is just doesn't call at the end of the night or just sends a text like, hey, I'm going to bed, love you. Because we know what it's like to be alone with those kids all day long, and you're like, fatigue to the max just mentally, and you're like, I love you so much, can we touch base tomorrow? And that's usually where we're at. But
what
it's
feels
good.
more tired, your brain or your body?
My brain.
Yeah.
It used to be my body, but I started working out.
Oh,
and it
really?
has changed my life.
And now it feels like you're stronger all the time because you are trying, you're working on getting your body really strong.
Yes. And I feel so good.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
Like I just feel stronger. I feel more energetic. I feel capable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think before I was kind of staying like active, but I didn't make working out a priority. And after Lily, I really started working out just for my mental state, to kind of pull me out of some things, and it changed my life.
Wow.
Kid you not, I'm a different human. I will never sacrifice working out, at least while I have little ones that I am physically having to be present for.
Yes.
It is essential.
Is it an every day? Do you do something every day?
It's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always moving.
Yeah. I mean, moms do not stop moving.
But
hardly.
as far as like, I am going to a gym and I'm going to lift weights is 3 days a week. I try to keep it that way. Sometimes 4. And then we got horses not too long ago.
Yes.
So I try to ride as much as I can. That's always good. It's good for your body.
Yeah, it is a totally different muscle.
Yeah.
Like I don't realize I have muscles I have.
Right.
Until you ride a horse
it's
and
a
you're
full
like,
body
I'm sore
engagement.
where?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Right. And it's good. It works your brain too. So it's all of that.
So
I
how do
think
moms
is huge.
help their brains? Working out, moving, riding horses, being with your friends, going on walks, all that helps your body be who you want to be as a mom. How do you help your brain be who you want to be as a mom?
I think when you're a busy mom, you can't have all the things. You can't have like a really great hobby and go work out 3 days a week and have this meeting that you have every week with this group of girls. And, you really have to kind of pick the things that you know is going to feed you the most. And for me, it is working out.
Yeah.
And my community of small group that we meet with once a week. And those two things I don't sacrifice.
That's interesting. You know, so many people say, here are the 5 things I have to do, or here's the one thing I have to do. But you're like, no, for my life as a parent and a wife and a Lauren, I need to do these 2 things.
Yeah. And then like icing on the cake is being with my horse.
Yeah.
But that just recently came.
Yeah.
But like something that just, so like working out is not something that I like just dream about.
Right, right.
It's not a dream, but it's essential and it makes me feel good.
Yep.
And meeting on Monday nights with our small group like feeds my soul and keeps me spiritually strong so that I'm able to like combat any lie the enemy tries to throw at me.
Dude, if you knew how many times I was like, I should text it's Monday night. She's at small group.
It's so true.
I mean,
though.
your whole world knows
Yes.
where you guys are on Monday nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a lifesaver. I mean, it saves me on a daily basis, just in the mental, spiritual.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm glad we're going to get to talk to some of your community again and like talk through mothering together, because when we all know you're so committed to community, that means y'all are raising each other's kids.
Right.
Like old school, we're our whole street raises each other's kids, and we're all we're feeding everybody and all that kind of stuff.
And
y'all
we're saying, hey, we're not going to do that, or hey, I'm so proud of you, keep going, or whatever it is. It's so awesome having that community around you that you can lean on as a parent and be like, what did you do when this was going on? Or like, can you take them for a second and give me a moment and know that they are in good hands and they are being parented well?
Yes.
And just, I think as they get older, like if there are things that my girls want to talk about and they need, or they don't like the opinion I give them, and they go seek it out from other people they trust, they're most likely going to get very similar opinions.
Yes. And what they don't know is all of us that the kids come to report everything back. So guess what? They won't learn until they're 20. That their parents knew everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. What is your hope when you think about 20 years from now, when Willa Gray's 27 and Lily's 20, 22. I mean, done with college. Everybody's out of college if they so choose to go. They're all living their adult lives. What do you hope your life looks like then?
I mean, part of me like hopes that they all stay close.
Yeah.
Just because our family, by some miracle, we've kind of all hopped around, but everybody really has come back. And so all I have ever known is a family that's really close.
Close in proximity, yeah.
Right. But I also know that I've got a few that have adventurous spirits, and that might not be the case.
Yeah.
So what I would love is, no matter where they are in the world, that I am, if there are grandkids yet, I mean, Willa Gray's 27, I was 27 having babies, that I am very involved with babies with her, or maybe Ada James too. And that Thomas Rhett and I, we travel with our kids. Wherever they are, we're there as much as we can be, and that they get to come home a lot, and that when they come home, it feels just like it does now, but maybe with a spouse or two added in the mix, maybe with some more kids, but that we all come back to this like family unit that was so sweet and so close and still is so close, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And just watching my girls be best friends. Like my sister and I are really close, and my brother. But just right now, all the life that they know are just sisters.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's one thing I'm so looking forward to, is I know there will be ups and downs, but my hope is that they are just best friends. Yeah. And when they get married, they each have 3 maids of honor.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just stay so close.
Yeah.
Because right now they are just best friends. I mean, they're inseparable. They do everything together. The older ones include the younger ones.
Yeah.
When the older ones get home from school, the younger ones go run in to meet them.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. I love it so much.
It's really fun because it feels like this whole season is doing the thing of we're deciding now who we want to be in 20 years. Mm-hmm. And this whole season is us having parenting conversations with single moms and unmarried women who are involved in people's lives, and experts and dads, and kind of having these conversations about like, okay, this is how we get where we want to get in 20 years is by
Yeah.
talking about it now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah,
I just think
it's good.
I'm glad we get to do that.
Yeah.
So this is the first episode, also drops Mother's Day week. So happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Mother's Day can be such a complicated holiday for so many of our friends.
Yeah.
And but tell me what Mother's Day is like in the Akins household and with your mom and with TR's mom, and
Yeah.
what's it like?
All the moms come to our house, and hopefully it's good weather. Most years
Yeah.
it is. And we'll sit by the pool.
Yeah.
All the husbands and dads figure out what we're doing for food. Moms don't care.
Yep.
Moms are just
you're
like,
just not doing it.
That's right. We're just kind of, it's where we get to sit and let everyone else, I mean, for the most part, take care of everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just a woman's nature to want to
Sure. Yes.
help out. But for the most
Yes.
part, we chill. We enjoy each other. We enjoy the kids. And then the dads like really just pull all the way on Mother's Day. And they do it like with such pride.
Yeah.
And they do it well.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
so much fun. I love Mother's Day.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
You're doing it really beautifully.
Thank
I feel
you.
so. When we talk about 20 years from now, I was literally thinking like, I'm gonna watch them get married. Like I'm
know.
gonna be sitting out there.
I know.
We just get to do this for a long time.
So wild to think about.
It's so yeah. I mean, your mom's friends thought that about you,
Right. I know.
Right?
I
And
know.
I just think, oh man, this is
Yeah.
we are only in the first part of the marathon. We're
right.
past the starting line. Y'all, you're not at the starting line anymore, my friend.
We run it.
You run it, but we got a long way to go. Well, I'm excited about this. I'm excited for people to enjoy this season.
Thank you. Me too. Thank y'all so much for being with us today. I hope you'll join for the next episode of the Live and Love podcast with counselors Sissy Goff and David Thomas, where we'll be talking about what it means to live in love when you're raising boys and when you're raising girls.